On Fire Fit Life, we are talking with Thalia today about something that she had been discussing with me that she had read on social media. And I thought this was a really important concept. And I really think it ties into some of the praise things that we have been kind of focusing on. So, Talia, do you want to kind of explain a little bit about this?
Yeah. So I don't know. I get all these like random little TikToks on my feed and stuff like that. And it's always interesting to me just the wording of things that come up. And a lot of times the wording of things is not even related to God or other stuff, but I'm like, oh my gosh, God, you're somehow speaking to me exactly through them. And they probably had no clue that they were even referencing really a lot of the things that God has been speaking to me about. But this girl, she came up on my feed and should I read it or should
Yeah, you
I?
could. She'll read it to you, and then she'll elaborate.
Yeah. So what she had said is, when I try to explain that believing you need to heal will create a belief that you are broken and you'll subconsciously look for more things to heal from. But if you believe you are already whole and that everything happened to shape you to who you are now, then you are now not a victim of your past, but creating the start to your future. So I just found that very interesting, especially as somebody who's anxious and like I feel like that can also too with my past, I can kind of sit in that. But God calls us all new whole creations. And if we actually truly believe that, then we can step forward in the freedom that we are whole. We're not broken. We don't have to fix ourselves. And I found it interesting that she used the word broken because she's not saying that there's nothing wrong with her. She's not saying that, like, oh, I don't got any issues and I can just keep on going because I'm fine, I'm great, or whatever. Instead, it is more that you can still have that accountability within yourself, but not then just sit in that. So you're not constantly looking towards your past and kind of, I don't know,
Yeah.
sitting in it.
And I think something that when you first said this to me off camera, about kind of self-help culture.
Yes.
Do you remember what you said? Can you share that?
I I don't know, I feel like it's very exciting that things like mental health and other things are being talked about a lot more, but then people feel like, okay, there's so much I have to do to fix the state that I'm in. If like for me, me being anxious, being depressed, having sometimes PTSD and other stuff, like, so what? Now I'm just stuck with this my whole entire life, and now I have to just, I'm broken, I'm not gonna ever be able to this, and that. Like, absolutely not, because that's not what God says about you. And it ends up creating a freedom to, like she said, create a new future for yourself. So I feel like this, we were talking a lot this morning off camera about the scarcity versus abundance mindset. And if you're broken and you're like, okay, well, then I'm also like kind of defenseless. And so then I'm also going to be kind of defensive because I am defenseless. And now everything I'm doing is kind of just kind of shooting out without even having an understanding of what's going on. And when you can understand that that's not who God says you are, and
Yes.
that there is actually so much freedom, and all those are just lies about yourself, that you can move forward and actually create instead of destroy almost.
Yes, yes. And the idea of when you look at your entire past and even present from the viewpoint that God allowed all those things for a purpose. And sometimes we label things that we think are bad as things bad that shouldn't have happened, or we wish they hadn't happened, or we wish we weren't in this situation that we're in right now. It can feel very negative, depressing. You can feel very trapped by your past and or present situation. But if you reframe it from the standpoint of God has been using all of these things for good. It has brought me to where I am today. I have a great sense of awareness. Maybe you have a capacity to understand other people that are anxious or whatever it is. And if you come at it from a standpoint of God didn't allow these things for your harm, He allowed them for your good. And then you don't have to come from a place of being broken, or that your past has brought you to this broken place. You can look at it as God has created me whole. He's using all these experiences to bring me into even more in my future. And I get to use all of this stuff that has happened, good or bad. And I think that shift in mindset is so critical, because the one broken side really keeps you trapped or paralyzed. And the idea that, no, I'm already whole. God has all these good plans for me. And yes, I can still work on self-improvement. I think self-help can really benefit a lot of people. And we can utilize those things, but not from a point of trying to fix a bunch of brokenness, but taking our wholeness and leading with that.
Yes. Yeah. God is the healer, not us.
Yes.
And if you're thinking, oh, I'm this broken person, you're denying the fact that God has already made you whole, and that you're have the key in your hand at the door of freedom, and you're just standing there, literally just standing there. Like,
Yes.
You have it right there in front of you, and acknowledging that, like you said, that despite maybe what has happened in the past, and like, God probably would not ideally want it for you, but guess what? He's still good, so He's still going to make a good thing for you. And if you really believe that, then that's the healing.
Yeah.
And then he can keep on working on little parts that need refinement and maybe need change, but it makes it less about yourself and more about what God is doing through your life.
Yeah. And to me, that's very exciting when you know that all of this stuff is part of how God's weaving together this perfect plan. You don't have to be stuck or feel like I can't ever get myself out of this. God already has. He's already healed you. He's already created your path. One of the favorite things that I always think, and I sometimes try to say it when I'm praying for her, or my son, or even my husband, but God's already been in your future. God is not stuck in time the way that we are. He's in the past, the present, and the future. And so He's already been in your future. And I mean, to me, that's really exciting to think that He's already there. None of this is a surprise. And He's weaving everything together for good. And it allows us to step in with a very excited, expectant mindset versus that scarcity mindset of a broken person. So,
Yeah. And I think there's a reason why that God is the creator and Satan is the destroyer. And I think if you can, I found it just very interesting, because the girl who wrote this, I think even one of her hashtags, and it was spirituality or whatever. So she was not even meaning it in any sense of God really being at the center of it, but it is the case. And it's always funny to me sometimes when people who maybe are not Christians can recognize that theme or that pattern, even if maybe they're not quite understanding that God's the center of it or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's I don't know, very prevalent in
Yes.
people's lives.
Yeah. And that's, I love that that is being brought out as an awareness for people. I think that this may sound a little random, but what you just said about people that may not acknowledge that God is the creator or whatever, I always think God made man and woman in his image. He didn't say he made the Christian people in his image.
That's so true.
Right? So a lot of times people may understand a lot of these general concepts that are really actually the truth.
Biblical
Right?
of
They're
truths.
biblical.
Yeah.
And I believe that's probably, and this is my own way of looking at it, but I can't say if it's theologically accurate, but I do think that that's God's nature that is coming out. Now, whether or not you acknowledge it, that's another thing.
Yeah.
But, because he made us, all of us, in his image, and that we get a choice on, how we live that and who we give the credit to. We either give the credit to ourselves because of our own self-help, but unfortunately, sometimes that peters out at some point, and then you have yourself to blame, and that can become a whole cycle. But when you acknowledge that God is the one and you partner with him and he's the creator and healer and all of that, then it just becomes an exciting adventure, I think.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So, yeah. Any last minute tidbit? I think we covered it.
I know.
Yeah. I just said an impromptu video because she was talking about this, and I'm like, wow, this is actually a really good thing to try to put on a video. So anyway, thanks for listening in. I hope that you think about that for yourself, that you are not broken, you are whole, and God has a good plan for you. Yeah. All right. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Live on fire.